much for giving me the privilege to be the principal of this high school, because your kids are fabulous and these towns are just fantastic. Thank you all. You know, you have that proud parent moment when people start talking to you about how well your kids behaved outside, and I have 2 teenage boys, so I love it when people tell me that, because I don't know who they're talking about. You understand me, right? But to have so many of you come up and compliment our students, I just want to say thank you so much. It just warms my heart to know that they're doing such great things. So a little round of applause for your kids, please. I wanted to explain a little bit more about what's going on, but like with all gatherings we have here at John Stark, we always start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we follow that up with the National Anthem every time we have some performances. And we have a wonderful performance today with our concert band led by Mr. Dan Williams and his team. But as a matter of interest, I thought what I'd try and do is take a historic view of the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm going to get rid of the 2 controversial pieces that some really love and some really love to hate. But those are kind of interesting because we added this whole idea of to the flag and under God last century. It hadn't always been that way. So I'll see if I can't recite a little bit as we stand and do the pledge. Would you all please rise with me? And from that we'll remain standing for the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And because you all followed me so well, and I said I would do it on my own, I'll try it once on my own, and you can hear the way it used to be. It used to be, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now Mr. Dan Williams. Have your seats. So for this living luncheon, what we thought we would do is try and give a little bit of history to you all of Weare that many of you already know. But we had so many students that wanted to do a little more research. We have all of the various volumes of Weare's history in our library, and a few more that were loaned recently from the Historical Society. So our students, under the direction of Mr. Tim Finn and some of the other teachers, have been pulling together some pieces. And so you're going to see some of our students in the improv class, led by Ms. Jen Mansky, just performing little tidbits here and there. Some scenes are very short, some scenes are very long. And some of the students are just going to come about and interact with you. You notice we have the Leo's Club back here with our wonderful lunch ladies that have prepared the food today. They're going to be serving us all. And we expect we might have a few more guests come and join us. So, we've got a nice open table here, so they all come in, that'd be great. And I know there are a few seats here and there, but we're going to try and have a nice visiting time here and what have you. So it's going to be kind of up and on your own a little bit, with the exception of the service for turkey on the left and New England boiled dinner on the right. So, just to kind of orient you, to the far right by the windows, we have all sorts of lemonade, refreshments, drinks, and things like that. On the far left, we have pickles, And I'm told that whoever doesn't eat the bread and butter pickles, I get to take all the extras home. So, that's excellent, because I can eat a whole jar myself. And then there's bread in the middle. So what we will do is we'll call up one table or a group of tables at a time and ask them to go back, again, based on what you asked for. Turkey to the left, and then boiled dinner to the right. But at the other tables, please feel free to get up and go to the far right or the far left and get your pickles and your drinks and other things like this and come back to the table. Fabulous dessert later on. I think you all saw that cake out there, but there's so many other treats to come about. A lot of fantastic things. I'm going to come back and forth with the mic just to tell you about what things are going on here. Okay, so at John Stark Regional High School, we've had a wonderful celebration of the partnership between the towns, and it didn't just start recently. It goes back into the early 1760s. One of the most wonderful memories we have is the connection between the schools and the towns from some of our students, and it's the wedding scene way back when.
To you, Merrily Corliss, from Weare, take Jonathan Howe from Henniker as your lawfully wedded husband.
I do.
And to you, Jonathan Howe from Henniker, take Mary Corliss from Weare as your lawfully wedded wife.
I do.
Please recite your vows.
Entreat me not to leave you, or to return from following after you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. And where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried.
Live long and prosper.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next scene shows one of the most famous pieces from Weare's history. In fact, I remember reading about it in my history books when I was a young lad, and I never really understood it until I saw the King's Pine and the King's Forest. You see in a couple of trees, they had the stamp still on them. Now, I don't know if you can find one around town that still has the King's mark on it, but I remember being shown one at a camping trip I was on in Massachusetts years and years ago. But in 1766, John Wentworth took over as governor after his father Benning stepped down. John was very different from his father, who was kind of lenient. And John decided to enforce the king's laws. One of the laws made it a penal offense to cut down the white pine trees. And as you know, the big tall white pines were just a favorite for masts for the ships. And so this was a big mast ship producing area. Well, without His Majesty's Royal License, you can get in a lot of trouble. So let's learn a little bit more about that.
What seems to be the problem, John?
Well then, you know how the king has decreed that no colonist may cut down his trees.
I'm familiar with this law.
Well, we've been having some problems with the towns of Bedford, Goffstown, and Weare. The men in Weare are particularly obstinate.
I will go to Weare and bring the men who are disobeying the king's orders down on their knees to justice.
Be careful, Ben.
The king himself.
You can tell that old fool that we cut all of these down.
I will not suffer this slight against His Majesty.
up.
What punishment will you give us for our heinous crime?
You are sentenced to a fine of 15 shillings.
I repent my sins.
William Smith and George Smith, they are all sentenced to the same fine.
So be it.
finishing up with this little story here, realized that one of the judges on the panel, back when we had the sentencing for that heinous crime of chopping down trees, was none other than one of the founding fathers of the town of Weare. And when you have a nice friend there, and one day the town is going to be named after him, it's always appropriate that he might be part of it, he might take care of his folks. So here's our thanks to Mishik Weare, who was one of the justices back then. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet gotten up to have our service, please feel free on the right-hand side, the boiled dinner, the left-hand side, the turkey. And again, if you haven't tried the soup and the pickles, or the drinks on the right-hand side, please help yourself. And I guess I should answer the trivia question of the day. So where did this outfit come from that I'm wearing? The hat, beautifully donated to me for the day from the Weare family because they were great enough to have Civil War reenactors in the family. But the closest I could come to finding something that looks a little military was my old outfit that I got when I was a lieutenant. This is from the Army dress blue uniform, actually dress mess uniform. And usually it'd have a lot more doodads all over it. I just took it down a little notch and tucked my collar into this. But this was the uniform that I had back in 1985, and I think I wore it at my wedding, but I put on some white bow ties and whatnot. But again, thank you all for coming out today. This is so fabulous. I think the food is terrific. Yes? Absolutely. The food is terrific. You notice the tune written there by Mr. Williams and performed by our improv group along with his band. Miss Segedy helped us on the piano. The message I'm trying to get across today is that the kids in town love this town, the teachers love the kids, and we all wanted to do this, and when the opportunity came for us to host this event, I had to beat up Mark Willis in the middle school to say, no, we got this, we're doing this one. So I thank you so much for giving this opportunity to entertain you today. straight down the hallway, and it's on the left-hand side. Don't go to the exit, just go straight down the hallway like you're going through the school a little bit more. And the men's and ladies will be on the left-hand side. But the 250th committee was started off with some wonderful seed money provided by the Chamber of Commerce, so we want to thank them for helping getting this whole year rolling with an event every month. To have all the folks come out and just enjoy the times and do different things is fantastic for all these monthly events, this being the culminating event, this being the very day 250 years ago when the charter was signed that gave Weare its birth back then. So it's a great culminating event that we can have here. This particular event, though, has really been a collaboration with a number of groups of people, but I particularly have to thank Ms. Sherry Burdick for all the wonderful work and effort and planning that she's done for this particular event. There's a cast of dozens that have helped out with selling the tickets, promoting the events, all the events this year, but particularly this one. But you keep going back and forth. Miss Colleen Kirk has been with me working as a partner on this from the very beginning. So all the other civic groups, they're all coming out. I see the representation with Rotary pins and Lions Club pins and people coming to say what organization with the firefighters and whatnot. And you notice we have just as many clubs and students here as well. So I thank you very much for that. And we do have some special treats coming up here, some of Weare's history. But I want you to think about this one or two little points. If you purchased a postcard today, the idea is to get it mailed today so they stamp it. So you want to get the stamp, not so much the postage stamp, but the stamp that canceled the stamp today, because this is the day you want it to be on the 21st September. So you want to turn that back in to have the postman mail it. So you want to make sure that happens. And the pictures that we've taken today, we're going to share through the library so you can see all those things and get them out there. So please continue to enjoy your meal. We've got a few more acts coming up in our historical play here. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a beautiful morning. Sun coming up, all red. But you know how they say that? Red skies at night, sailors delight. Red skies in the morning, sailing take warning. But on May 19th of 1780, it was a dark day. And it became famous throughout New England. And it made its impact on the town of Weare. The clouds rose fast, and there was lightning and thunder, and the rain fell, full of burnt matter that smelt of soot. And the townspeople of Weare thought the world was ending.
What is happening? The world is ending! Confess your sins!
I ate my cow yesterday.
I forgot to pray last night! Oh my God, nearly yesterday! I told Sarah Goldie your dress is beautiful! And I didn't see that!
Every modern major film.
What do you mean you don't like my
years
dress?
has been set in 30 minutes. Steven Spielberg was in the picture. Yeah, he does.
But it was a scary ordeal for many because we had a lot of movement in America and we weren't sure where we were. We couldn't text each other to say what was happening. We couldn't read the newspaper that quickly. But it was one of those scary days. So we thought we'd liven it up a little bit, and probably the most appropriate thing we can do right now is bring out a piece of Weare's history. Made in Weare was a beautiful violin, along with our tour makers and many of our craftsmen, whatever, we had some beautiful violin makers. We happen to have that violin here, and to play it for us is Miss Lizzie Pullman and Mr. Dan Williams to play a couple of pieces, but they're going to start in just a moment on one of our beautiful pieces, and you'll be able to see this violin that was handcrafted here in Weare and purchased for the Historical Society most recently last year.
Dip went down to Georgia, Houston for soap steel. Hughes the finest big time was no big deal. He came across this young man song, fiddle playing hot.
at this time, I think I'm going to have Lizzie just come around through the audience and show you guys, get a better look at this great piece of Weare history.
So Sarah Dolby. Salem, Mass. wasn't the only town with rich history in witchcraft. Weare also had notorious witches. One of these was Sarah Dolby, accused of killing livestock and turning one poor victim into a horse multiple times.
She's a witch! She's a witch!
These are heavy accusations to put on any person.
'Tis true. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Who is the accused?
Sarah Dolby!
I've already told the magistrate. She'll be here soon to arrest her and take her to trial.
Don't be too hasty in this. If she is killed and found guilty, there's no going back.
Sarah Dolby, you are hereby accused of witchcraft.
Eventually, the accusations were so abundant that she left Weare for a while. But when she died, she was buried in the northwest corner of Center Square Cemetery. The grave reportedly had a hollowed section where her ghost went out and in. Might come around when you're not thinking about it. Back in 1938, what happened? Big flood. We also had a big hurricane, right? Is this the day it started? 36? We better get our dates. So people were recollecting some history and all this. Pretty amazing things happen, right? And so now we see the big civil engineering projects that are out there. We thought about having a visitation from President Nixon. You know, you can meet the guy that started the Pine Tree Riot. They can say who's not a crook and all that stuff. Pretty good. But I bring this up because we wanted to think about who won the trivia contest today. Sponsored by the Quiz Bowl Challenge team, coached by Miss Matschke and, Miss Pinard and Mr. Matschke. And the two teams, actually there was a tie, both at 130 points. We have the Weare Challenge was a tie between the old one, someone went by the old one, not to be named, and also the Macheziks. All right, Mr. Macheziks at 130 points. So congratulations to them for winning. Yes, indeed. So, it's been a wonderful meal. We've got another scene coming up, but I know that some people might be very interested in having some dessert because you've been sitting comfortably here, and you can leave your plates on the table. We actually have more spoons back there, but we have some beautiful desserts. If we could just start off, perhaps it's all in the left-hand corner in the back rear where the pickles were. Okay, so tables 1 through 8, if you guys want to file back and grab some dessert and all that, come back to your seat, and we'll just have a few more things going on here. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're starting dessert, but one of the things that was especially made for us today was a replica of that gorgeous birthday cake that came out the home day. And here we have it again, but this is an edible version. But I thought it'd be appropriate this time if you wouldn't mind joining me in a big round of applause for all of our lunch ladies that work so hard to prepare things here. I'd ask you to come on out here. Here we go, ladies. Morning. This next step I think is great. We're not stopping until it's in the hall. Just have them off the door for the way down. All came in the back of the kitchen and started playing. Ladies and gentlemen, they serve about 1,000 meals with all the people that come here every day, breakfast and lunches and break. These are the ladies that do the joint starch meeting. And very special thanks to this morning for him who leads the team and also was the maker and the decorator of this gorgeous cake. So it's going back to the corner. Thank you again, ladies. Thank you so much. our students, thank you to our teachers, the community members that brought this all together. I invite you back to John Stark for the many football games, the field hockey games, the teams on a roll, the soccer games. It's a gorgeous way to spend a fall afternoon. We've got our plays coming up this fall.